All right, hey everybody. This is my presentation on APIs. And so, what exactly is an API? So, in everything I could find, one of the most simple explanations of what an API is well, first it's application program interface, but it's basically a software intermediary that allows two applications to talk to one another. And so one really simple example that I found was a waiter. And so, imagine that you're sitting at a table in a restaurant, and the waiter comes up to you, and you have your menu, and you make your order, and you give that to the waiter, which in this case is the API. And so the waiter will then take your request or your order, and basically tells the kitchen or the system what to do or what you want. And so, then the system itself will put together everything that it needs to send back to you, and then the waiter will deliver that, or the API will deliver that back to you. And so a real world example of this is, like one of your travel websites. So one that I used recently was called Kayak, and basically what it did was it would contact all of these different APIs, and it would basically pull all the criteria that you ordered. So, say for example, you put in date, you put in how many people are going, you put in, whether you're not a business class or economy or whatever you wanted. You put in this criteria, send it through that API, and it'll give you back the seats that are applicable in that area. And so Kayak will do this with all the different airlines, and it'll get back all this information for you so that you can see whether it's the cheapest that you want or the one with the least stops. Basically it'll take all that information for you and get it through the APIs of all these travel websites. And so that's kind of the awesome thing, is instead of having to deal straight with each system, you're able to work with just a small package of data from each place that you're wanting to get information from through these APIs. And so that is kind of how an API works, is basically you will connect through the API, and it's really easy to just work off a small amount of data through that API. And so you're going to send what you need, and then the system will take all that and send back what you asked for. And so it'll also interpret the data, which is pretty cool, because then you actually have something that is a lot easier to read and to use. And so a majority of the time, JSON, or JavaScript Object Notation, is one of the big languages that are used. But another one is called XML. Let me see if I can find it real quick here. Yeah, XML. And so basically those are just different languages that you can use. And so there's benefits to using either one. So right here, JSON supports only text and numbers, and it focuses mainly on data and has low security. XML supports various types of data, for example, text, numbers, images, graphs, etc. But it focuses mainly on documents, but it has more security. And so there's a couple different ways that you can use, or that APIs are made. But going along with that, there are a lot of different types of APIs. And so, us specifically, we're going to be using a weather API. And there are quite a few of them. I think there was quite a few free ones as well that we'll probably be using one of them for our weather sites. But basically what we can do is, when we're looking for the Preston weather in real time, like what's the temperature, what's going on, is it snowing, is it raining? Currently it was snowing, but so you can connect with that API and just get back the information that you need without connecting fully to that server and having to deal with that. So I'll also put this website in there. We'll probably have one that we'll all use, but I thought it might be useful if somebody wanted to go in the extra mile. And so basically there needs to be a way to kind of gather all these different ways that APIs could be used and kind of apply some common rules to them. And so that's what API governance is. And so it literally is just the practice of applying common rules and standards and security policies to your APIs. And so it'll basically go off, like it says here, the common data model of approved and reusable resources or model objects. And so really the governance is all about just making sure that it's very user friendly, and basically you can use them to be easily consumed by a wider audience. And so APIs are really important, especially when it comes to ease of use and security. If you had to connect directly to a server or a system, that poses a lot of security risk, especially if it's something that's trying to do not good things on your server. So basically, the security of the API allows for only small packets of data to be communicated through from the user. And so that way, not only are you more protected because you're only getting this small packet of data, but the person you're getting it from, or the system or server you're getting it from, is also protected because it really is just that small thing. And so it's just really what's necessary. Like I said, it's very user friendly. A majority of APIs are under that API governance, and so they make it quite a bit easier to use. But that is the basics of APIs, and if I missed anything, then feel free to ask a question and I'll figure it out for you. But thanks for listening, guys. We'll see ya.